It's a darn good thing Turco's not seeing this. You know what he would say?
It ain't right.
Now that's a tall order. The only way they're going to accomplish that is to tax fossil fuel energy.
SDG&E admits charging the most for their electrical services than any other county on the continental U.S. Why is our electricity the most expensive in the nation?
Yeah. I can't speak on behalf of our parent company, but what I can tell you is we make amazing improvements in safety, reliability, all these infrastructure improvements to meet the demands of 2050, where we hope to be net zero.
So between the next 7 years on our way to 2030, David, people can expect 2 to 3x on their electric. So if they're averaging $300 a month on electric, they're going to be looking at $600 to $900 a month by 2030 to power their home. If basically they put a meter on the house, and at the end of the year, they're looking at the net between what you produce and what you consume. Do you owe them money, or do they owe you credits?
Solar is getting more expensive, and natural gas is getting banned in California.
Hey everybody, it's Dave Domingos here, and I have my good buddy Eric on today, and he called me and made sure that I was aware of updates that are coming on March 15th for solar. And so Eric, dude, what do we got? Because I have people asking me all the time. So you told me on March 15th there's going to be a big shakeup in solar. So what does that mean?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me here today, David. Appreciate you taking the time. I always like chatting with you. Big changes in California solar. I mean, we sell solar in 24 states, but one of our main markets, because we're local, we're located in Carlsbad, is the San Diego and California market. So on December 15th, the California Public Utilities Commission voted for net metering 3.0. So a lot of people have been hearing net metering 3.0, NEM 3.0. When you go solar, your utility, like if you're an SDG&E, they put you on net metering. That's the program. And right now we're running on current day 2.0. So if anybody's got solar on their home now, they're running on 2.0 or previous to that.
Like me, I mean, I'm on, because I got it in the last 4 years, right?
Yeah, so you're running on 2.0, and what's happening with you is you're getting, if somebody doesn't have batteries, predominantly the people who have solar in the home don't have batteries on the home, right?
There's my question.
Yeah, storage is newer technology. It's a little expensive at this point. But right now, when somebody has solar on the home, you're producing energy. If you don't have a battery, you're not using it all as much as you're producing. So you actually send it out to the grid. You send it out to SDG&E, and on your meter, they track that, how much you sent out, how much you exported. Right now, they're giving you 30 cents a kilowatt hour. And a kilowatt hour is just a unit of energy. It's a gallon of gas, ounce of water. On net metering 3.0, they're only going to give 8 cents per kilowatt hour. So what it comes down to is somebody's going to need to invest in batteries to hold on to the energy until they need it, instead of borrowing it back from SDG&E later on.
So real quick.
Yeah.
So with that, because that's a perfect time to interject. So I make more than I use, but I have a Tesla, and I don't drive that much just because we have multiple cars, but I'm gonna probably want to start driving my car more. What does that mean? If I don't want to run out of energy, right? If I don't upgrade my system before March 15th, will that affect me, or am I grandfathered in?
Yeah, so basically, if you have solar already, and maybe you're going to get an electric vehicle, or you're going to add a jacuzzi in the house, or something that's going to just add a lot more energy pull, you really want to look to add those panels now, because if you increase your system by over 10%, they're going to bump you to the new rate. So let's say a year or 2 years from now, you decided to add those panels, you're going to get bumped to the net metering 3.0. And it's actually April 15th is the cutoff. And you don't have to be installed by April 15th. You have to have your interconnection agreement signed with the utility, which, can take a couple of weeks to a month to get signed and approved. And then you actually have 3 years to actually install the system. Not that it's going to take that long, but they're giving people the space there. So it's the interconnection agreement that has to be done by April to get grandfathered in for 20 years on the current rate of net metering 2.0. So if you didn't want to add batteries, you can still kind of wait a couple of years for that technology to innovate before you do that.
Okay, and speaking of batteries, does it matter what battery you get? Like, does Tesla have a certain one that lasts longer? Or what is a battery? $5,000 per like pack, something like that?
15. Yeah.
15,000?
15,000 per battery. And that's, when you're in the average home to run for net metering 3.0 are probably going to need 2 or more batteries. So, you're looking at doubling the cost possibly. You're looking at adding 15 to 30, maybe $45,000 to somebody's solar system for it to make sense on net metering 3.0.
Wow.
Come on.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. I'm glad you called. So,
And we don't sell Tesla products. Where the batteries we love and we sell, we're one of Enphase and SolarEdge's top product, top distributors of their product, really, really high end tier 1, top quality equipment. But if anybody's looking to go, if you don't have solar, right? If you are thinking about going solar ever in your home in California, and look, most people are, everything's going electric vehicles right now. There's gas just doubled in price, and there's all this craziness how the U.S. Administration right now is looking to ban gas stoves in people's homes.
Didn't San Diego pass? Like we're gonna have retrofit. I don't know, 2025 or something. Aren't they gonna start doing like retrofit requirements?
Yeah,
I don't know the year, but by 2035.
2035 on the vehicle. So everything's going electric. And if you look too, outside of net metering, the U.S. Administration signed the Paris Climate Agreement, which basically committed us to cutting carbon emissions by 50% by 2030. And that's a tall order. The only way they're going to accomplish that is to tax fossil fuel energy. So between the next 7 years on our way to 2030, David, people can expect 2 to 3x on their electric. So if they're averaging $300 a month on electric, they're going to be looking at $600 to $900 a month by 2030 to power their home if they're staying with the utility where they don't own it. They're leasing, renting the energy. They're in a lifelong contract that's variable. They have no control with rate hikes every single year.
And that's because they're going to be using more energy because it's going to be only electric, right? And rates are increasing. So that's where you're going to see that big increase.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen a 30 to 40% increase in SDG&E in just the last couple of years here, right there.
Yeah,
gas used to be average about 4% a year, and now we're seeing 11 and 14 and 15, 18%. Up in the Northeast, in the US, people are seeing a doubling of the electric rates going on right now in the country.
Wow, awesome. Hey, have you heard that right now, so time of use, the highest right now in San Diego, at least my area, I don't know exactly how it works, but it's 4 to 9. Have you heard, could that really go to 4 to 10? Have they, because I have neighbors that are like, I'm waiting until 9 o'clock to wash clothes, which, they actually are following. And well, fortunately, we don't really need to do that here because I have an excess, but it's not about me. Like, I want to help my customers and friends, save money on not paying, SDG&E personally, but
yeah. And even in the morning hours, the earlier morning hours, people are doing laundry and stuff like that. It's just cheaper because as the day gets longer, energy gets, a lot of people don't know how to read their electric bill. They look at it and they just pay it, right? There's a lot of things built into that, I mean, SDG&E, Edison, they bill on time of use. So as the day changes in time blocks, the energy gets more expensive. So it's like going to the gas pump and, you go in the morning and it's one price and you go later in the day and it's more expensive. And it gets more expensive as the sun goes down when solar might not be producing in the evening there. But there's also a lot of fees. I mean, if you look at your bill, just go to the section that shows all the money, all the fees. And transmission and distribution are the largest portion of your bill, which is usually about like 50 to 60% of your bill just to get the energy to your house, not of what you use, but for them to transmit it over a 150-year-old grid that they're having a really hard time maintaining,
Yeah. Well, you saw it on the commercial. I put some out on my YouTube channel that they were asking SDG, why is our electricity the most expensive, I think, in the nation right now? And he said, well, we do amazing upgrades to our infrastructure. Like, what have they done? The only thing I can think they've done is cut some trees down so they don't start fires, right? I mean, what have they done?
they had challenges with the grid, with the fires that happened, and it was, you know, at fault of SDG&E and these utilities. And if you look at your bill, you have a fee on there. It's called the what is it called? The forest fire fund, a fund or something. What they do is they just bill it into taxing you to take care of their problem, right? So they're not coming out of pocket to pay for their mess up because their grid is unstable. You know, we're dealing with a grid that's 150 years old. That they're having a really, really hard time taking care of. So, you know, we're pretty blown away on net metering 3.0 passing, because these utilities are telling the government that they'll basically take care of the green energy and cutting the emissions, and that they'll build the solar and the solar farms and continue to hold on to their monopoly and rent the energy to you, where, you know, the sun is here for all of us, right? And to be able to become independent, put panels on your roof and own your own power at a much less of a cost, right? That should be options for everybody.
Well, with the gas, I have a friend that tracks all this stuff. You know, he's real analytical, actually really smart guy. And he said that SDG&E, the parent company, Sempra, right? So they're buying from their own company, right? So if Sempra's charging $5 per therm for gas and SDG is buying it from them, the guy at SDG&E said, well, we pay, you know, dollar for dollar and we pass that on, but you're buying it from yourself. So that's why gas is, you know, one of the reasons why it's so expensive right now in San Diego. So, hey,
we
man,
just got a doubling.
Yeah, it's doubled.
We just got a doubling of it. So people are now looking to push. A lot of my clients I'm talking to, they're looking to put, you know, the air condition, the hot water heaters, anything they can over to electric, and then putting solar on the home. And getting in before net metering 3.0, so they don't have to add the batteries now. Got it.
Hey, man, thanks so much for your time. For people that are interested, I can actually refer you directly over to Eric. You can go to my website, click on get a quote, I think, put a zip code in, and will that go directly to you if they do that?
Yeah, you know, they can go right there. You know, they'll be sent right to me, guys. I'm here in Encinitas in the San Diego area. I mean, I sell solar all over the country, so we could help any of your friends and relatives in 24 markets. But you know, put your information in there to go directly to me. I'd love to hop on a call. And I really come from the place of educating. I'm not looking to sell you anything. I'm not pushy. It's just educating you, taking a look at your bill and what you're paying, and educating you and showing you why solar makes so much sense. You know, a lot of people think solar costs them money, where, you know, we could put solar on your roof for no money down, no payments for 60 days until after install. And the bill, especially with the high cost of energy here in San Diego, is going to be much less, sometimes 30-40% less than what you're already paying. And now you're owning that asset versus paying for renting it. And sometimes people's roof is a little bit older, right? I know, David, one of your buddies were talking about they needed a roof. Beautiful part about that too, we do roofing, so we can package it all into the same loan. And still, because of the high cost of energy here, we can still be less than your monthly payment than what you're paying for SDG&E right now, and that payment's going towards owning your new roof and owning your solar system.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did that when we did ours, actually. That was before I knew you, but that's awesome. Hey, bud, thanks for your time. And if there's any updates, make sure to reach out to me.
Definitely will. Thanks for your time, David. Look forward to talking to your people and helping them out.
All right, bud. Appreciate it. We'll see you later.
All right.
Bye-bye.